Hello everyone, welcome back to one of my workshops. This was a workshop delivered in my Eventbrite page. I always post different workshops which later on I recorded for my YouTube channel. So please be welcome and take a cup of coffee or a tea or your bottle of water and enjoy this video with me. First of all, I would like to apologize because this video was supposed to be posted yesterday evening between 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. However, I had an inconvenience, a last minute problem, and I couldn't. But here we are, and I hope you can now enjoy it as many times as you want. You can also download it or just simply watch it from my YouTube channel and get to learn and understand a bit more about how to create a curriculum and how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So this is the time you've waited for. It's the time to shine. Well, before starting, I would like to introduce myself and my company. For those who still don't know me, my name is Vanessa and my company is Wise Help. I opened up this company in 2020 during the Corona. I provide digital marketing and communication services in 4 intertwined sectors. So corporate marcom, strategic consulting services, coaching and private lessons, and recruitment support. I know that it sounds a lot, but I like to work alone or team up with other freelancers. So most of the tasks, of course, if I can perform them by my own, then it's great. If not, I always try to team up with people who have similar values, who likes to learn and innovate and collaborate. I currently live in Belgium, which I love it. I'm studying a postgraduate in digital marketing, and yes, that's basically me. So let's start with the agenda. So first point is to find the balance. Second point is open vacancies, unadvertised vacancies and scams, LinkedIn optimization, and other tools. Wow, your resume is impressive. Next time, try to shorten it from 100 pages to 1. I think this really reflects a big problem many people faces when creating a new curriculum vitae or resume. They really don't know what actually they should include or how many pages they should have. I think this is the main question I always get from my clients. How many pages should I include? Shall it be a very extended version or shall I include only the most relevant information? So yeah, let's take a look how we can solve this problem. So how to find the right balance? So on the one side, you have what you want to say, right? Your internships, your work experience, your education in 100 places. And then you have what they are interested in, what really matters for the recruiters, for the HR managers, and for the companies you are applying. So in between, there is the relevance, the balance, the right balance. So what I advise always is to personalize your curriculum according to the job vacancy, to the vacancy, to the open vacancy. So I know that's sometimes really difficult because that means you need to spend more time in personalizing your curriculum, but I think it's better. I think, for instance, jobs where you are going to have higher positions, like a manager, are different from jobs, entry-level jobs. So you need to personalize the curriculum according to it. Because, yeah, if you are applying, for instance, for a higher position, you may include maybe one page extra than for an entry job position. So yeah, you need to personalize the curriculum according to what position you are applying for. My second my second advice is to provide information of yourself as a person and not as an employee. So what really matters is what have you done in terms of how you have grown, really, like the things that really have marked a before and after in your life. So those things that you as a person really remember to have marked an after and a before. So if there are work experiences that were for you, that weren't valuable for you, why will they be valuable for your employer? So I don't think it's really a matter of just including all the information in there. Okay, I have done this. I work in an ice cream parlor. I was a manager. I was a teacher. No, I think it's really what marked a before and an after in your career is what you should include, what made you grow as a person. Then what I advise also is to watch out the grammar, the design, and information. So yeah, try to be as accurate as possible with the grammar. The design, try clear and clean design, and the information should be something relevant and should be something interesting for the recruiter. And of course, the other side is what you want to say, right? So make sure you include still what you want to say, right? What education you have achieved, what experience you have achieved, what language skills you have, but always keep in mind the right balance. So continuing with the topic of finding the right balance in your curriculum, we have here a very simple division of the parts a curriculum should have. Please don't take it too serious. This is done with a paint. So of course, there are so many things you can include in your curriculum, but this is just the division of information. Later on, I will give you extra tips of the things you should include in your curriculum in terms of design. But this is simple, a division of the parts a curriculum should have. So as you can see, you have the picture. I prefer a round picture. It's a bit more modern. Then you have the top part. In the top part, I always recommend to include your name, which is associated to your personal brand. You can choose your name. Some people have several names or several short names, middle names. So please make sure you always introduce yourself as you like to be called, because that's your personal brand. Then beside or under your name, you're going to write the profession you want to develop in the company you are applying for. So for instance, if they are looking for an HR business partner, you're going to write HR business partner. If they're looking for a financial manager, you're going to write financial manager. Always you have to write the title they are looking for. Okay? And just directly under the title, the profession you want to develop, you have to write your expectations. This is also very important because sometimes recruiters or companies don't know exactly what kind of candidate will suit the best to their goals, okay? So if you already have certain expectations and you have them clear, what you really expect in this relation, right, in this professional relation, things will work much easier for both sides. So it's always good to describe in short form, maybe in 2 sentences, what you really expect. So for instance, if you expect to work in a hybrid form, or if you prefer to work at the office, so those sort of things that are your preferences and that really matter in your performance as an employee. Okay, then we have two other squares. Actually, this is just to separate, but the only true square here is the one under the picture. The rest is just the top part and the main text. So I always prefer to draw a square under the picture with the information of the candidate. So the residence, address. Please do not know that you do not need to include your full address. And this is important because you are providing your curriculum to companies and you don't know who really is checking your curriculum. So you don't need to include your full address. With the postal code and the city and country where you live is enough. Then you have your telephone. Sorry, my speech got cut, so I will continue. So after describing your residence address, your telephone number, and your electronic mail, you can also include some professional pages like LinkedIn, or if you have a website, you can include your website. Yes, and then you can include your skills. On the one side, you can include your IT skills, so all the programs you know, such as Microsoft, any softwares you are familiar with. So for instance, I don't know, any of the softwares you have worked with in the past, you can include them. And also your skills as an employee. So for instance, if you're punctual, if you are good with deadlines, if you like to work in a team, those sort of things. And the last but not least, you should include also your language level, if you have any certifications, and also which level. So if it's a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced level. Then, yes, you have the main text. So we have already reviewed the top part and the square under the picture. And then we will go to the main text, which is mostly the important information, right? The most important information, which is your work experience, your education, additional training, and extra information, okay? So your work experience, you should include your position, the company, the month and year of incorporation and termination. In education, it's not needed to give as many details as in the work experience because, for instance, educational programs are quite more different. People sometimes take breaks in between or they take an internship abroad. So the month is not necessary, but only the year in which you obtain the diploma and degree. Sometimes people write the year they started and the year they completed. Actually, it's not necessary. You can just write the year in which you obtained your degree and, of course, the center and the degree's name. Then you can include also additional training, so more information about other courses and seminars, and then other additional information about yourself, such as hobby, or if you have a driving license, if you are part of an association, a sport club, those sort of things. So here we go to the point of, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. You have to get behind me and push. Okay, so this is really funny. I just imagine the wife asking to the husband, "Go back, push me. Nothing will happen to you." Okay, well, of course, we need to watch out with these companies and these recruiters who seem to be real, but they aren't. So here there are some points of these fake recruiters, of fake agencies and fake companies. I know that seems obvious to be careful about these things, but it's something still we need to take care when applying for companies, and especially if you are giving your data, your curriculum is almost like a picture of yourself. You're giving a lot of information about yourself, so you have to be indeed very careful with your data. So on the left side we have some points which I believe are indicators of a fake agency or a fake recruiter, which will be vacancies are not posted on the website. So they are always sent in a Word document or something like that. Usually they are part of a large corporation which has branches in Europe and Australia and blah, 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 blah. So they are always part of large corporations, and they always are a client of a client of a client. So you never know where the chain ends. And usually there are great salaries and IT related, because we know now that the IT environment, the tech industry is like booming and is one of the best pays. So they are not idiots. They always say, we are part of an IT or tech company, blah, 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 blah. So I would say these are 3 red flags. Then we have on the right side some facts about what I believe are companies, reliable companies. So reliable companies always post their vacancies on their website. So you will always find their open vacancies on a website where you can apply. You can usually locate the recruiter agency. It's not like they are part of a big corporation. Usually they are a branch. You can find where are located, their phone numbers, the emails. And usually the salary is also not disclosed, because usually this salary is disclosed later in a further point in the recruitment process. So the second point of this workshop is LinkedIn optimization. Here I will give you some tips and tricks about your LinkedIn page and your LinkedIn account. How can you optimize it? Of course, this is up to you. Not everything is mandatory, but these are just my tips and my advice. So here there is headlines, updated information, summary of yourself, send invitations with messages, give and receive recommendations, include links, SEO optimize text, and determine goals. I will start by the bottom because actually that last one should be on the beginning. I think the first one is to know what you want to do with your LinkedIn. What's your goal? If you are finding jobs, if you're finding candidates, if you want to just know about the latest trend. So I think before you open your LinkedIn account, or while you are opening your LinkedIn account, you should determine the goals. So yeah, I would recommend LinkedIn to everyone, but especially to those looking for candidates and looking for employers. So yeah, so determine first your goals, and based on that, take the right actions to optimize your LinkedIn. So LinkedIn optimization will not be the same for a recruiter than for a candidate. So this optimization is mostly based on candidates' point of view, okay? So if you're a candidate, you are looking for a job, so I would say the first thing is to change your picture, to include a picture of yourself. So recruiters have a first impression of who you are. Then include your name, which is your personal branding. You can change the header, but most of the times the header is linked to the company where you work. So like You can put a logo of your company or the name of your company or a picture of your company. So if you are looking for a job, doesn't make too much sense. But yeah, you can maybe put a nice picture of the city where you live or where you study or the university, or just a normal formal picture like here Lydia has. So yeah. Then you have, of course, besides your name, you have also your position and the place where you are located. Now here, if you are looking for a job, I would recommend you to also write similar headline as in the resume. So you can write the name of that position you are applying for. So for instance, if you want to find jobs in IT as a web developer, just write web developer. Or if you are looking for jobs in, I don't know, security, software developer or cybersecurity or anything, just write it there. As me, of course, I work for myself, but I also write digital marketing and communication specialist, which I do not have that much experience to say I'm a specialist, but it's what I'm working for. So I think here you can a bit, yeah, not exaggerate, but really put a headline, a title of a position that matches with what you are looking for, with your expectations, even if you don't have a job. Then comes a summary of yourself. This is very important. Here you have an example, you can read it. And yeah, you can give the tone that you most like. You can try to be formal. You can try to be more commercial. For instance, in this example, Lydia is a bit more commercial because she's a marketer and she's trying to first like tell to the people what are the current problems of most of the companies and most of her clients. And then she tells her solution, which is her services. So you try to sell yourself mostly in the summary. So this is very useful, very handy way, but you can also be more informative where you have lived. For instance, people who have lived in different countries and have studied in different countries. It's also useful to give an overview of where they lived and which experiences they obtain in those countries and abroad. So it depends a little bit on where you want to focus where you want the people to focus on. So what you want to mainly grab, what attention you, sorry, my English is not my mother tongue. So what exactly you want people to read and to really like remember about you, you know? So yeah. So besides the summary, you have also the possibility to send invitations to people. And I will always recommend to send invitations with a short text or introduction or just a note. It's much more personalized than if you just send an invitation, a random invitation. I think person will think, I don't know who is she or he, so bye-bye. If you send an invitation, especially if you are a candidate looking for a job. So you can try to first do your research and try to find things that you are interested, things that you really like about this person. This is very important. I know we are very lazy people in general. So yeah, it's hard, but you need to do your research before. So if you really want to get recruited by a company, I would really recommend you to do your research in advance and send invitations to, yeah, to interesting people, to those who you are interested in. Then you have to include links. This is also very important. If you are a freelancer, it's like super important, especially photographers, web developers, videographers. They always have portfolios and it's very important to include them. I should include mine. So for instance, I should include a summary of myself and my portfolio, which is something that I will do and that the people can check later. So you can check later on which changes have been done in my own account to see the before and after. So I will include a summary of myself, and I will also include my portfolio, which is basically a brochure I have on my website, which is actually not really a portfolio. I have case studies, so I think I will include both case studies and the brochure, just in case. And yeah, you can include any links. Any links that you find relevant, you can include in them. Maybe to your web page, to your brochure, to your portfolio, anything. Some people also include pictures of their diplomas. I personally don't like that, but it's up to you. Maybe a picture of a graduation ceremony or any awards you obtain. That would be nice to have some pictures of that on your profile. I always forget to take pictures, but I think those are the moments that you really need to take pictures and then upload them on your web page. So for instance, from your graduation, you can upload these pictures on your LinkedIn profile. Then you have SEO optimized text, so you have to find yeah, of course, if you're writing a text, try it to be as much optimized as possible. You can find words that are the most searched words on the internet. Use these words and write them down in your summary. Also in the descriptions of the jobs, on the descriptions of your education. This is something I see it more and more lately, which is to describe also your education. Because of course, most of the people nowadays study either for being more intellectual. So people does not only study for getting a diploma and getting a job, but also they study for several other reasons. There is also people with no education who has great minds, and the way around. So it's all depends on the personality and the people. So I will say, if you study, try to also highlight in which things you were different from other students, because almost everybody has a degree of some sort, a vocational training, some sort of bachelor, apprenticeship. So yeah, everybody has it. It's almost impossible to find a person with no education at all. So I would say try to explain which things, which associations, which sports you practice, anything that makes you different from the rest. Because nowadays, even in current times, people are more and more competitive. So I think every time you will find more educated workforce. So yeah, it's nice if you explain more information about your educational journey. And yeah, I think that will be a short summary of the optimization of your LinkedIn profile. If you need more information, let me know, and I can send you some extra tips and tricks. So we have come to the end of this video. We have come to the last PowerPoint slide, and this is the slide that explains more about the tools on LinkedIn. So the other tools, so besides hiring and finding candidates or getting recruited and finding companies, there are so many other tools and so many other options. And yeah, I will just advise you to go and search which option works the best for you, which tool works the best for you. So you have like LinkedIn Learning, advertisements on LinkedIn. You have the possibility to check the analytics of your LinkedIn account. You have also the possibility to share videos, documents. I'm actually going to post now a picture of my graduation ceremony, which took place in the UK, in England. I think, yes, you can always try to keep it as professional and clean and as good as possible by using these tips and tricks I gave you. And yeah, I hope you like it. And if you have any other ideas, or if yourself feel, okay, I may need this service because you want to optimize your LinkedIn profile or you want to create a new curriculum, let me know. Also share with me your tricks, what you do in your LinkedIn. And yes, let's keep in contact and have a nice evening. Bye bye.